So the Fever do take down the Connecticut Sun, but the big news is that it looks like Caitlin Clark is injured.
So NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has addressed that.
The Indiana Fever might have taken down the Connecticut Sun, but that victory came with a gut punch to the entire WNBA. Caitlin Clark, the league's brightest star, is injured again. And if that wasn't enough to rattle the league, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has now stepped into the spotlight.
A report that some NBA owners are frustrated with the financials of the WNBA and the lack of return, especially as the league grows. And here's the thing, that initial report probably needs some context. I don't think it's surprising that
addressing whispers from NBA owners frustrated with the WNBA's financials and its lack of return on investment. But the real storm isn't the money. It's the fact that Clark's absence from the All-Star game has turned what should have been a celebration of women's basketball into a limp, awkward sideshow. The commissioner didn't just speak, he erupted. Picture Adam Silver morphing into the Hulk, but instead of smashing walls, he's smashing the WNBA's PR shield. Clark's injury has stripped the All-Star game of its main attraction, leaving fans staring at a stage without its headliner. Silver's not angry in the way you expect. He's disappointed, which somehow cuts deeper. He didn't outright threaten to move the game to a YMCA, but you could hear the frustration in his voice. And in the middle of this PR disaster, Caitlin Clark herself confirmed the news. She's officially ruled out for all All-Star Weekend events. The groin injury, this time to her right side, will keep her sidelined, and the disappointment is palpable. Sure, she'll still be courtside at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, signing autographs, greeting fans, doing everything possible to make the weekend special. But the reality is, without her on the floor, the WNBA's showcase event feels like a high school talent show where the lead singer called in sick. Her statement was gracious, thanking the Indianapolis host committee and everyone who worked tirelessly to put this event together. But behind the smiles and gratitude lies the painful truth.
Well, shit. We have some really disappointing WNBA injury update. Caitlin Clark is officially ruled out for all events of the All-Star Weekend. She did say, don't worry, she's still going to be at Gainbridge. She's still going to be around. She's still going to be making her appearances, signing for the fans, everything she can do to make this.
Clark has been playing basketball for 20 years, facing double teams since middle school, relentless full-court presses in high school, and defensive schemes in college that would make NASA engineers sweat. She handled it all with poise and brilliance. But the WNBA? It's a different beast, one that seems hell-bent on battering its brightest star until she's broken. 4 injuries in less than 2 seasons. That's not bad luck. That's a hit list. This isn't basketball. This is a demolition derby dressed up in sneakers. From her very first game, Clark wasn't welcomed with handshakes. She was met with body checks, hard elbows, and defense straight out of a WWE handbook. And the refs? They act like they're blind interns hopped up on too much coffee and too little experience. We've watched it for over 15 months now. Her own brother has called out the officials for letting it happen. And every time Clark gets knocked to the floor, the league shrugs. It's gotten so predictable that it's almost routine. Clark takes a hit, fans rage online, the league issues a nothing burger statement, and we move on. Until it happens again. And here's where the comedy becomes tragedy. The WNBA's leadership is either asleep at the wheel or so busy filming growth of the game montages that they've stopped noticing that their golden ticket is hobbling off the court again. You don't go from virtually indestructible in college to injury-prone in the pros by accident. You get there when the league lets every opponent treat you like a human piñata without consequence. And if that wasn't absurd enough, every single time Caitlin Clark's name comes up, somehow Angel Reese gets dragged into the conversation, as if there's a quota to mention her in every sentence about Clark.
Unfortunately, that groin is still bothering her, and it's the right groin now. We saw her get injured the other night. It was the left groin previously. She did release a really nice statement about it, so I'll go ahead and show you. I'm so excited for Indy to host WNBA All-Star Weekend. I want to thank Indianapolis host committee and all the people that have put endless work over the...
Clark gets hurt. Bring up Reese. Clark drops 30, cut to Reese on the bench. It's like the broadcast has some Reese Tourette's mode they can't turn off. Is this basketball coverage or a bizarre reality TV rivalry edit? Meanwhile, Adam Silver sits courtside, looking like he just realized he paid premium for demolition derby tickets. He's not just frustrated, he's cycling through all 5 stages of grief at warp speed. Because deep down, he knows the WNBA wasn't ready for Caitlin Clark. The league has been fine surviving on clunky offenses, low-scoring games, and refs who whistle fouls like they're checking expiration dates. But Clark? She's fast, electric, magnetic, a walking sellout crowd. And with her rise, the league's cracks have gone from hairline to chasms. Ticket prices for the All-Star Game have dropped over 50% without her in the lineup. You can now snag a seat for $64 in Indiana, a far cry from the gold rush prices when she's active. She generates 26% of all WNBA revenue in her state alone. That's not a player, that's an economy. And yet, here she is, getting mauled on the court while officials stare into the middle distance. Hip checks, forearm shoves, cheap shots disguised as tough defense. The kind of stuff that wouldn't even fly in a men's pickup game without starting a fistfight. And when she inevitably ends up hurt,
is some really scary, sad, I don't know, it might be earth-shattering to some news. It looks like Caitlin Clark did get injured again in her right groin this time. The previous groin injury was her left groin. And
Caitlin Clark's absence from the All-Star floor isn't just a loss for fans. It's a flashing neon warning sign that the WNBA is barreling toward a full-blown credibility crisis. This isn't about missing a three-point contest or sitting out a flashy weekend. It's about the fact that the league's most valuable asset is limping because she's been targeted game after game, while the people paid to protect her stand around like mall security guards scrolling Instagram. Let's be clear, Clark didn't tweak her groin stretching before a game. She didn't trip over a stray water bottle. She was deliberately kneed, right where she was already vulnerable, and the officials, those supposed guardians of fairness, swallowed their whistles so hard it's a miracle they didn't choke. And this is not the first time. It's a pattern.
looking good because groins are an injury that do take quite a while to actually fully heal. According to Jesse Moore, MD, he is a regenerative medicine doctor. He does specialize in sports, and this is what he said about Caitlin Clark's injury. Clark appears to have re-aggravated her right abductor.
A pattern the league not only tolerates but enables. The commissioner, Christy Engelbert, responds to these repeated attacks with the kind of warm, fuzzy nothing statements that could double as generic greeting card messages. Her leadership is like a participation trophy in human form, technically present, functionally meaningless. Clark doesn't need empty encouragement, she needs tangible protection. She needs officials with enough backbone to call an obvious foul, even when it's delivered to the league's golden ticket. She needs a commissioner who understands that being the face of the sport doesn't mean being the punching bag for every envious opponent. And if the WNBA won't protect her, maybe Clark should protect herself. Maybe it's time she considers pulling the nuclear option. Sit out the rest of the season until the league makes real, visible changes. Imagine the fallout, the boardroom panic, the emergency calls between sponsors and league executives. ESPN anchors fumbling for euphemisms like player empowerment to describe the league's worst nightmare. Without Clark, ticket sales plummet, ratings tank, sponsorships wobble. The WNBA's carefully crafted growth narrative implodes overnight, exposing the truth. She is the economic engine. Without her, the car doesn't just slow down, it stalls. And maybe that's exactly the wake-up call they need.
We've now seen, and we'll take a look, her brother called out the refs last night. We have watched Caitlin Clark get the ever-loving crap kicked out of her for, let me look it down here, looks like about...
Because this isn't just about one player, it's about a culture where blatant fouls are dressed up as grit, where rivalries are manufactured to distract from systemic failure, where silence from the top is mistaken for professionalism. It's not professionalism, it's negligence. In any other league, this level of targeting would result in suspensions, fines, and official investigations. In the WNBA, they hand out Angel Reese posters and pretend the problem is tough defense. It's the equivalent of watching your house burn and offering the victims a marshmallow stick. And don't think for a second the hypocrisy goes unnoticed. If Clark were the one delivering these hits, if she was the one dishing out low blows like it was a Mortal Kombat special, the league would come down on her with the force of 1,000 press releases, ejections, fines, public apologies, the works.
15 months now, 16 months. And they are about to find out because I can only imagine how many people now won't tune in to the three-point contest, that won't tune in.
But because she's the victim, we get nothing but Canva font fluff about supporting all players. That's not support, that's spin. And spin doesn't stop a player from getting blindsided mid-drive. The referee situation is a flat-out embarrassment. Engelbert recently claimed officiating was just fine, hours before Clark took yet another uncalled cheap shot. It's like insisting the ship is unsinkable while it's already halfway underwater. Fans see it, players see it, even the opponents delivering the hits probably see it. So why won't the league act? Because admitting the problem means admitting they failed to protect their most important asset. And that's bad for the image. The image they've spent years polishing while ignoring the cracks beneath the surface. If Clark did stage a walkout, the impact would be seismic. It would force the league to confront the ugly reality it's been avoiding. That it's become a place where being talented is a liability, where drawing fans makes you a target, and where leadership confuses inaction for stability. The optics would be devastating.
NBA players reveal under their warm-ups t-shirts a statement to the WNBA. Pay us what you owe us. Statement is being made. You got Caitlin Clark.
Headlines would scream about the league's inability to safeguard its own players. Fans would demand answers. Sponsors would reconsider their investments. And all because the WNBA couldn't be bothered to call a foul when it mattered. But maybe that's what it will take. Maybe the only way to break the cycle is to shatter the illusion entirely. Let the absence speak louder than the highlight reels. Let the empty seats tell the truth no press release ever will. Because here's the reality. Clark isn't just a player. She's the centerpiece of the league's marketing, the reason for the spike in ticket sales, the focal point of every broadcast. Without her, the product changes overnight. It's not just less exciting, it's irrelevant. And if that sounds harsh, good, because that's how urgent this is. Engelbert.
Rocking the shirt, so obviously she is in full support. She's going full throttle with the players in these CBA negotiations, trying to get more money, more benefits, etc. This is interesting.